Welcome to State House Rock. I'm Policy Specialist Brian Roth. Governor Pritzker gave his State of the Budget address Wednesday as the legislature got into full swing this week. Last Friday was the deadline to introduce non-budgetary bills, which gives us a good idea of the legislation we will be facing this session. The governor's proposed budget spends $42 billion with an additional $1.4 billion to be held in reserve in case the graduated income tax amendment fails to pass in this fall's election. The tax rates, seen here, will go into effect on January 1st, 2021 if the constitutional amendment passes. As part of the budget, Pritzker proposed placing $100 million in the state's rainy day fund, placing $10 million of the $46 million in cannabis sales towards the state's bill backlog, and putting another $100 million toward paying down the pension debt, assuming the income tax amendment passes. The governor also proposed free tuition at community colleges for students whose families make less than $45,000 a year, free tuition at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign for families making less than $67,000 a year, and proposed a $26 million bailout to the College Illinois program. He stressed his support of expanding gambling, including a Chicago casino. This is significant because much of the vertical construction program is paid for by gambling. Pritzker also proposed increased funding for teacher preparation and scholarships, a $50 million expansion to early childhood education funding, expansion of child care assistance funding, $40 million in mental health and addiction services, funded in part by cannabis proceeds, and increased funding for DCFS to hire more staff and retrain existing staff. As part of the capital budget, $3.6 billion would be made available as follows: $2.9 billion to the Department of Transportation, $651.5 million to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, and $77.2 million to the Department of Natural Resources. A bill we are watching closely for design professionals is Senate Bill 2999. As it stands now, it would allow the Cook County Forest Preserve to combine design and construction work under a single contract, i.e. design-build. A primary concern with the bill is the overwhelming emphasis on cost over quality in awarding contracts. Political leaders on both sides of the aisle roundly criticized President Trump Tuesday when word was released he would commute the sentence of former Governor Rod Blagojevich. In 2011, Blagojevich was sentenced to 14 years in prison for extorting campaign contributions from a children's hospital, racetrack owners, and others in exchange for state funds, legislation, and jobs. That's it for this edition of State House Rock. Thanks for watching.